iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right. I want to talk to you about something that's very important today. It's called your Fantasy Football Championship. It's your league title. It's hanging in the balance. There's a good chance it's hanging in the balance right now. So there's multiple things we need to do to get you to a fantasy championship. Now, this will not really apply to the high-stakes players listening. Maybe some of the stuff I will talk about will. But for the most part, this will apply to people in home leagues. Most leagues have trade deadlines that are coming up any minute now, whether it's before this week or after this week, normally heading into week 11. There's a trade deadline. Okay? So you have to start setting your team up now for the stretch run. Now, I'm hoping and I'm assuming that your league still allows waiver wire moves, because if you don't play in that league. You have to be in a league that allows you waiver wire pickups from week 11 on. It's critical because as we see every week, Paul Richardson, Charles Clay, Geronimo Allison, AJ Green, Ryan Tannehill, guys get hurt. Guys get hurt all the time. And you have to have the flexibility to be able to go to your waiver wire and pick guys up. So I'm assuming you can still make pickups. But let's talk about trades. Right now, you've got to start making trades that in some ways, I don't want to say are bad deals, but obviously I want you to make good deals. You know that. I want you to make the best deal you can. But I wouldn't mind you making a trade to get some depth, especially if you're a team that thinks you can make a deep run. So, for example, do you really need your 8th wide receiver at this point? Let's just say you have your 8th wide receiver at this point, and this is a guy, let's just say it's Anthony Miller. Okay, I'm using Anthony Miller. But you have one tight end, Jack Doyle. You don't really have a second guy. Would I trade Anthony Miller to get a backup tight end? I would. Because there's not going to be a lot out there on the waiver wire. So if you said, could I trade Anthony Miller for David Njoku? I'd do that right now. Even though I like Miller moving forward. I like Miller moving forward. But is Miller really going to play when he's your 7th or 8th wide receiver? Probably not. Right? Probably not. If your league only starts 3. But if Doyle, God forbid, gets hurt, you've got nobody at tight end. So I need you right now to start positioning yourself for the playoff run. Make sure you have a backup at every position. And I'm going to tell you this from my own experience. Last year in the high stakes league, I came in 2nd overall. I had Carson Wentz as my quarterback. Literally, I played with Deshaun Kaiser in the playoffs because I didn't have Nick Foles. Carson Wentz got injured. I went with Deshaun Kaiser in the playoffs. I lost by 50 points. Do you not think I would have won had I not had a decent quarterback? It was my mistake. It was absolutely my mistake. I was like, oh, Wentz won't get hurt. Boom, Wentz gets hurt. You've got to cover yourself. Now, I wouldn't overpay. I'm not going to give up Deshaun Jackson for David Njoku. I'm not giving up Jarvis Landry for him. But I'm going to try to make a deal to solidify my depth. You don't need 8 running backs at this point. I want to have 3 good ones. Most of the time you start 2, right? I want to have a 3rd one just in case. The 4th or 5th one, they're gravy. Take your 5th running back, who's probably a guy like Matt Breida, and flip him for what you might need. Maybe you take Matt Breida and maybe you take, I don't know, Dak Prescott, and you make it into Carson Wentz. I don't know if you could do that, but I know you should try. I know you should try. Now, would I go get a kicker? Absolutely not. You should be able to go to the waiver wire for a kicker. Would you go get a defense? Absolutely not. One of my good friends goes and picks up a second defense last week on waivers. I'm like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? One defense at a time. And he says to me very smartly, he goes, yo, Dr. Roto, my team has a bye in 3 weeks and they have a good matchup. I'll worry about 3 weeks in 3 weeks. I got to get to week 12. I got to worry about week 10 and week 11. Right? I'm not going to prep that far down for a second defense. I'm going to stream my defense. I'm going to stream my kicker. I'm going to worry about my position players. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Are those solidified? If they are, you have a very good chance to win. If they're not, you don't. Next, what are you looking at? Playoff schedules. Before you make a trade, go look at a playoff schedule. Week 14, first round of the playoffs. Who's Miami playing? New England. Looks like a good day for Sony Michel. Maybe you can get Sony Michel now. Right? He's injured. Maybe somebody will give him to you. Because if you can get to week 14 and you're in the playoffs and you have Sony Michel, your team's looking pretty good. Who's another bad run defense? How about the Detroit Lions? They play David Johnson on the road. Maybe I'd go out and trade for David Johnson right now. Right? So now, maybe let's look at Arizona. Who do they have? They have Kansas City. That's a tough one. Oakland, good for David Johnson. At the Chargers, Green Bay, all right. Detroit, terrible run defense. Atlanta, terrible. And the Rams, But let me worry about that. Let me get to week 16 with the Rams and I'll worry about that. I'd be very happy to be in my championship game. So sure, would I trade for David Johnson? Absolutely. What about New England? Maybe Sony Michel sits out week 10. It's possible. Then they're on bye. Then they have the Jets, Vikings, Miami, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Hello, Sony Michel. Right? So start looking ahead. Start looking at the playoff matchups. Right? Start looking at how it can help you make a run. That's what you have to do right now. You're at a critical point in your season. Now, other things that are very important. Bye weeks. Remember, this week 10, there's a bunch of teams on bye. Denver, Emmanuel Sanders, Phillip Lindsay, Cortland Sutton, Minnesota, Diggs, Thielen, Cook, Rudolph, Cousins, Baltimore, John Brown, Crabtree, Houston, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Miller, DeAndre Hopkins, Demaryius Thomas. And don't forget, week 11 is a bloodbath. And I'll get to week 11 in a second. Don't forget week 12. Week 12 is like, it's not only 2 teams on bye. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, that's the Chiefs and the Rams. Boom. I mean, Mahomes, Hunt, Kelsey, Watkins, Hill, Goff, Gurley, Woods, Cooks, Kupp. You think any of those guys are helping you win your league? My God, my team better be way ahead before week 12 because I'm going to take a bath because I got plenty of Chiefs and plenty of Rams. That's why my teams are doing well this year. But that is going to be a bloodbath for me that week. But week 11 is brutal. The Bills are on bye. The Browns are on bye. Miami, New England, the Jets, and San Francisco. I know there are a lot of bad teams there, but you'd be surprised how many guys you have on those teams. You have Marquise Goodwin. You have Elijah McGuire. You have Josh Gordon. You have Kenyon Drake. You have Jarvis Landry. You have LaShawn McCoy. Right? Those are a lot of teams. So we've got 3 very painful weeks ahead of us in the NFL. Very painful weeks. Okay? So you've got to be very prepared and make sure you have the moves in place now. Because, look, next week's bye week is brutal and the week after is brutal. So make your trades now that position you to win your league. I beg of you. I beg of you. It's critical. All right, speaking of critical, I think the Dallas Cowboys are in critical condition. I really do. I think they're in critical condition. The Cowboys lost last night badly to the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans aren't very good. Now, Dak Prescott 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he was sacked 5 times. 5 times. I thought the Dallas was a very good offensive line. Not that good. Amari Cooper did what we thought he'd do. He had 8 targets, 5 for 58 and a touchdown. Michael Gallup, 3 for 51 and a touchdown. We said this was going to happen. He would get his opportunities. Zeke Elliott, 4 for 51, but really it was the fact that Tennessee stopped Zeke from running. 17 for 61 is a great job by them. Sensational job. For Tennessee, Marcus Mariota looked okay, not great. He still makes bad passes, but nobody could stop Dion Lewis. Dion Lewis was great out there. 19 for 62, 4 for 60 and a touchdown receiving. Corey Davis was wide open in the end zone and Mariota missed him. Wide open. Oh my God. Derrick Henry found the end zone. Derrick Henry did find the end zone. But Tennessee wins these games ugly. They play good enough defense, they run the ball well, and they're just good enough. Dallas is in big trouble here. Can anybody just realize that Jason Garrett is just not meant for this job? They got to blow this up and start over. You're good, but you're not great. I don't know. Maybe is it the coaching? I don't know. Is it the players? I don't know. I don't think Jerry Jones can fire himself because that's what he probably needs to do. He really needs to fire himself. All right. It's time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Now, look, if you gamble, I want you to go to VegasWhispers.com. That's VegasWhispers.com. Enter the promo code HOT50. It'll be $50 for your first month. It's normally $149. That's a huge savings. And guys, it's been on fire. Fire. Okay? So if you like money, which most people do, if you like money, check out VegasWhispers.com. Also, check out ScoutFantasySports.com. Enter the promo code ROTO70. That's ROTO70. And you'll get 70% off your first month. We're right there, guys. We're right there. Make the right trades. Prepare yourself for bye weeks. Get in the right positioning. Make the deals you can. Position your team for fantasy success. These next 3 weeks are brutal. And these next 3 weeks get us into those final weeks. So you got to be a step ahead of the competition. And you will be with ScoutFantasySports.com. All right? I promise you that. Back tomorrow with Waiver Wire Wednesday. This is Dr. Roto saying be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit ScoutFantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!